December 31st. I'm not driving today. Every year, I tell myself I'll slow down at the end of December. And every year I don't. There's always one more ride, one more notification, one more reason to stay out a little longer. It feels easier to keep moving than to stop and sit with your own thoughts. But this year felt heavier, so I decided to stop one day early. What I didn't expect was that my last passenger of 2025 would follow me into the next day like this. The ride happened last night, December 30th, just before midnight. The city felt strange. Busy, loud, bright, but hollow. Streets full of people dressed for celebration, walking fast, talking louder than usual, like they were trying to outrun something. It felt like everyone was chasing an ending they hoped would feel better than the year that came before it. I remember sitting in the car, watching people cross the street, and thinking I'd do just one more ride. One clean ending. Something simple. That's when I picked him up. He got into the car quietly. No rush. No small talk. Mid-40s, maybe. His jacket was expensive, but worn. His clothes looked like they'd been sat in for too long. Like someone who had been uncomfortable for hours, but didn't want to leave. I noticed his wedding ring right away. He gave me the address and leaned back, staring out the window. The kind of stare that isn't really looking at anything. At first, neither of us spoke. It wasn't awkward. It felt intentional, like he needed the silence before he could say anything else. A few minutes into the ride, he let out a short laugh. Not because something was funny, more like something had finally slipped out. "It's strange," he said, still looking outside, "how you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone." I didn't try to fill the space. I just kept driving. He told me he had just come from a party, an end-of-year party. Loud music, packed room, people holding drinks and talking about promotions, vacations, new plans. About how next year was going to be the year everything finally made sense. "I stayed for about an hour," he said. "Long enough to pretend." He said he kept checking the time, hoping he'd feel something different after a few more minutes. But he never did. It felt like everyone else was moving forward, he said, and I was just standing still. Then he started talking about his marriage. He said it didn't fall apart all at once. There was no big fight, no moment you could point to. It just slowly went quiet. Conversations turned into transactions. Who needed what? Who forgot something? Who was late again? He said they still lived together, still shared space, but not a life. She didn't want to come with me tonight, he said. Said she was tired. He paused, then added, "But I don't think that was the reason. She just didn't want to go with me." He stared down at his hands, twisting his ring around his finger like he wasn't sure it belonged there anymore. "I think she's seeing someone else." He said it carefully, like saying it too loudly might make it real. "I don't have proof," he said quickly. "No messages, no names, nothing like that. Just patterns. Her phone always face down. New passwords. A tone in her voice that changed when certain names came up. Work dinners that felt unnecessary. Smiles that didn't seem meant for him." He said there were nights he lay awake, replaying normal conversations, wondering which ones mattered and which ones didn't. Watching her without meaning to. Listening for things she wasn't saying. "It's like living with a question," he said, "that never asks itself out loud." Then he said something quieter. "The worst part isn't even the idea that she might be cheating." He took a breath. "It's that I think I helped create the distance." He said he'd been gone for years. Not physically, but emotionally. Always tired. Always busy. Always promising himself he'd show up more once things settled down. "I wasn't cruel," he said. "I wasn't unfaithful. I was just absent." And he admitted that absence can feel just as painful as betrayal. At one point, he said there were nights he stayed late at work, even when he didn't need to. Not because of deadlines, not because of money, but because sitting alone in his car felt easier than walking into a house where he didn't know what version of himself he was supposed to be. The husband trying to fix things, he said, or the stranger pretending nothing's wrong. Then he talked about his son, 17 years old, quiet, always wearing headphones, always in his room. He still lives with us, he said, but it feels like he left years ago. He said he missed school events, missed dinners, missed moments he didn't realize were important until they were gone. I kept telling myself I was doing it for him, he said, working more, providing more, late nights, extra shifts, always tired, always saying, next weekend. Now his son barely looked at him. Conversations were short, polite, distant, and I don't blame him, he said. I taught him how to live without me. He laughed again, that same empty laugh, and said, I made more money this year than I ever have. Then he looked at me through the mirror, and I've never felt poorer. He said he kept chasing stability, security, numbers on a screen that made him feel like he was winning at something. He thought once things were solid, everything else would catch up. I thought I was building a future, he said, but I think I was just postponing my life. The dashboard clock read 11:50 p.m. Fireworks were already going off somewhere in the distance. He didn't seem ready to end the ride, but he asked me to pull over before we reached his place. I don't want to be home, he said, but I don't want to be out either. I pulled over. He paid for the ride, then sat there for a moment, staring straight ahead. If I'm being honest, he said, this year broke something in me. He opened the door, then stopped. If I could trade everything I made this year, he said, for one quiet dinner with my family, I would. Then he stepped out of the car. I disappeared down the street. I didn't take another ride after that. This morning, the city felt calmer, like it was waiting, and I kept thinking about how many people were ending the year the same way. We spend our lives chasing safety, comfort, the idea that happiness is something we'll earn later. We tell ourselves we'll fix things when there's more time, more money, more energy, but time doesn't wait. Children don't stop growing. Love doesn't stay where it's postponed. Some people end the year with fireworks and celebration. Others end it quietly, realizing what they traded away along the way. That was my last passenger of 2025.